Hello, everyone, and welcome to our interview. Today, I am very happy to be joined by the lovely Beck Wales, who is the Service Manager at Coffs Harbour Family Daycare. Welcome, Beck.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So my name is Elizabeth, and I'm presenting from Gadigal Country. Beck, can you share with us where you're joining us from today?
Yes, I'm in beautiful Coffs Harbour, and we are located on Gumbaynggirr country.
Fantastic. All right, so we'll get into it. So, Beck, how do educators at your service prepare for new children and their families joining care? What are some of the usual processes that you do?
Okay, so first of all, we really like educators to understand that it's really important to form positive relationships with children and their families. So this helps develop just a sense of belonging, and it just allows the children and families to feel, I guess, safe and secure. So that's where we initially kind of drive our enrolment process from. And we're always encouraging educators, well, just to stick with the notion that first impressions count. Okay,
Right.
so yes, and we always say to our families as well, when we have a chat to them on the phone, you'll get a feeling if that's a right place for you, a right fit. So yeah, it's up to our educators, I guess, to showcase their service. So I guess for us, we get the educators to arrange just a suitable time for families to come and visit and learn about their service.
Yeah.
We also probably encourage them to make sure that they know their family's names. That always helps.
Yes.
And they're inviting, I guess, and friendly. We get them to try and encourage them to introduce the families to the group of children, any household members that they may have, and I guess show them around their service, showing families where they're going to play, where they're going to sleep, where they're going to eat. So that initial induction.
Mm-hmm.
With the environment, I guess we tell them just to make sure that their environment is warm and comfortable, welcoming, check to see if their entranceway is inviting. It's really important to set up comfortable spaces for families to sit. Set up learning spaces if their children want to go and play and explore. Make sure that the service is clean, I guess, safe and well organised. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, they're great points. Good points. And what are some of the things that you would discuss with your families when they're coming into the service for the first time?
Okay, so the first time, I think it's really important to take the time to learn about the child and the family during the meetings. Educators can develop questions beforehand and ask these questions to find out about the children's interests, routines, likes, dislikes, family structures, things that are important to them, special people that are important to them as well. We have some educators that also develop a questionnaire that can send the questionnaire home with the families as well.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and as well as, getting to know the families, it's really important for families to get to know you as well. So, take the time to showcase your service, talk about what's really important to you with working with children, have your philosophy on hand or any service information just to send back. With families as well too. So
yeah, that sounds like a really good induction. And so what can educators do to plan ahead of time to prepare for transitions into care?
I guess I just wanted to share like a little kind of tip that one of our educators do with their families. They like to send a photo of their group and themselves home with the families that they meet.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so it's a little thing that they can extend on at home and just alleviate that anxiety. Just prepare that, you're going to see this person when you go to this service, and these are the children that you're going to play with, just so there's a bit of familiarity happening. And I guess the information that you gain from that initial meeting as well is something that educators can reflect on with their own practice and their own routines and make adjustments, I guess, if they need to. So if you find out about the interests of the child, make sure on their first day that you have a special, resource or a learning space that's set up that connects to that interest. Might make that transition happen a little bit more smoothly. You know, it may be a rocky day, so you may need to adjust your daily routines to fit with new children's routines and requirements. Especially if children, you know, are breastfeeding as well, make sure you've got flexibility in your days to incorporate that. Yeah, and you know, short days to start off with if need be too. Have a gradual transition, a gradual orientation. Let families come in whenever, just to sit with their children and just make sure that they're both at ease as well.
Yeah. Oh, they're great ideas.
Yeah.
But we know transitions can be a bit challenging. They're not always easy. What are some of the challenges that family daycare educators face during transitions, and maybe some of the challenging behaviours that we tend to see in the children at this time?
Yeah, it can be a bit of a tricky transition, especially when children are first starting off as well too. You can see some children come a little unsettled when they separate from their families. It's a new environment, there's new routines, there's unfamiliar routines, new peer groups as well. So, you know, you may see those children that come upset and unsure, a little bit scared, a little bit resistant as well to kind of engage with the routine. But what is absolutely key for a smooth transition is probably, I would say, making the unfamiliar familiar.
Yes.
So, you know, developing those predictable routines, for example, arrival and departure times. So making sure the same thing is happening every time that they pick up and drop off. We've just been through a process with the Circle of Security training where educators have developed their little spiels that they have during these times. For example, they tell children that their job is to keep them safe. So children are always looking for people that they know are going to keep them safe. So I guess that little spiel and getting the families to say that spiel, and then what's going to happen next. Like, I'm here to keep you safe today. We're going to have a great day playing. So getting families to kind of get on board with that routine and spiel too. We've seen in our service a massive change in our transitions with new children.
Oh, fantastic. Great. And you've mentioned some great support that's there for both the children and the educators to overcome those challenges.
Yeah.
And then in regards to the families, what do you feel the families need or appreciate the most when they're settling their children into care?
So I guess children and families need to know that they feel valued, I guess, that their children are going to be safe. They're going to have a great time at your service. I guess they need to know that they're going to be involved in the decision making of what's happening at the service as well too. So families are the most important key to smooth transitions. So use them. Get to know the children's routines, get to them to share their routines, get the routines to go from home back to the service back to home. So again, those predictable routines, if they can share some familiar items into your service as well too, like special photos, you know, special comforters, anything like that, that just reassures them and keeps them safe, I think is really important.
Great tips there. Well, thank you so much, Beck. We've learned so much from you today. If we can finish up with just some key tips that you'd advise to assist in establishing ongoing positive relationships, mostly between the educators and children, but also their families, what would be your key tips to take away from today?
I would say open communication, effective communication. Just make sure that, you know, you're always communicating how their day's been, any concerns. Open yourself up to families to address any concerns that they may have. Value their input, I guess. Seek further training, like I just said, Circle Security training. It's a game changer. I can't stroke it enough. Also, as well too, I know there's the support as well with your service, like, so use your coordinators. They will help you in your transitions, even if it's just, you know, when your families are coming in and you need some time to bond with that child that's not settling. You know, I'm sure I know my coordinators always love a cuddle. And I guess as well too, just, you know, validating children's feelings and comforting them. Families need to know that their children are going to be loved and they're going to be safe. And, you know, at the end of the day, family daycare is just such a beautiful space to create that sense of belonging, that home environment. And and that extension of family, that's really what family daycare is. And I guess that's what families want. And once you have those relationships, you're going to have some beautiful experiences with your children.
Fantastic. Well, Beck, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. We've learnt so much. It sounds like you've got great transitions and welcoming strategies going on at your service. So thank you for sharing them.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Beck.